All right, brothers and sisters, this is Bro.Elihu. I have to address individuals who I'm in a discussion with a couple of dudes about engaging our adversaries, okay, in uh, uh in a fight. You know what I mean? According to the War Scrolls scriptures, which is part of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Okay, it wasn't included in the final Bible draft. All right, the war will happen. Okay, and you also have mention of it in Revelations. Okay, but in the War Scrolls, this will be a 40-year war. Okay, so it's not going to be quick. It's not going to be fast or nothing. And then individuals they keep over rationalizing shit, which is nothing but a indication that they're afraid. And being afraid is okay. All right, being afraid is okay, but you got to understand this: these individuals are going to make circumstances so goddamn hard for black people that you will either have to engage these motherfuckers, okay, or you're simply going to die, okay? They're going to apply so much goddamn pressure in areas such as forced vaccinations, forced chipping, chip implants, in order to get certain goods. You know what I mean? You will have to take this chip. You know what I mean? And then they keep talking. They keep talking as if goddamn resources are going to be available to them. You know what I mean? When this shit is happening, man, listen, you will not be able to stay in your homes, okay? You will have to take to the goddamn woods and shit like that. And that's in the Bible. The Bible, in fact, in Revelations mention, woe to them, okay, that have to leave their homes and hit the goddamn and become refugees during winter, and those who are with child having to suckle. Okay, it mentions that. You know what I mean? It will be a very hard time for individuals such as that. All right. By now, you should already have enough preparation done. You should have a weapon or several weapons. You should be stockpiling ammunition. You should have a 3-month supply minimum of food and water per person in your home. You should have an escape plan. You should have an idea of where you're going to go when you immediately have to flee your home. And please do not treat that shit with a mental concern. Once you receive information that they're doing door-to-door gun confiscations, also know that roundups will take place simultaneously. Okay, so if you think you've been the type of motherfucker that been propagating certain type of things, and that you might be on the list, you may be one of the individuals that Department of Homeland Security or National Security Agency or FEMA, may perhaps want to take you to a detainee center. You know what I mean? Or what they are calling re-education centers, reassessment centers, shit like that. They have reassessment centers where you will go and then they will assess, what should be done with your ass. Basically, should you be just in prison and locked up? You know what I mean? Are you re-educatable? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. All right. If you want to look at it from certain other scriptures and prophecies and whatever, the beast was given 6,000 years to rule on the earth. This is the Jewish year 5776. Okay, so that's about 124 years from now. So people alive today will not live to see the great fight, but you may begin to be to feel the beginning of the apocalypse. You know what I'm saying? Of the suffering that is going to take place on black people. Okay, because before, when the apostles asked him, Lord, tell us what will be the end and the sign of your coming. You know what I mean? He tells them, certain things that must take place first. You know what I mean? Certain events must take place prior. I had an individual tell me, yeah, if Jesus was coming back, you know what I mean, he would have did so when they killed Malcolm and Martin. No, he wouldn't have. You understand what I'm saying? Because he told you certain events must take place first. Okay? Now, when these events take place first, he says, I'll come quickly, surely I'll come quickly. Okay? But certain events must take place first. So you will have to leave your home. You will become refugees. Okay? You will have to, you will never, and here's another thing. They always will, people who are afraid and shit, but they won't admit they're afraid. Instead, what they'll do is they'll over rationalize all the goddamn things you don't have and what you can't do. And you know what I mean? So, you know, they'll continue to do that. Individuals like that will always miss opportunities. You know what I mean? When it's time to move on a particular thing, whether it's a raid or a reconnaissance type of move, because you're going to have to remember, when you're dealing with guerrilla warfare and you're dealing with being a refugee, okay, you're never going to have all the things that you need. You will have to acquire these things as you go and as you fight, okay? That's why you need specialists, all right? You will, and guerrilla, listen, you're going to have families and things of that nature, all right? You got to understand this. All the black people, all right, aren't going to, you know, make it. They just not. You know, in fact, I would be safe to say 75% of them are going to either be detained, killed, or they just going to go ahead and just fucking acquiesce for the goddamn chip in order just to get their debit card reactivated or their food stamps reactivated or to stay in their goddamn public housing or whatever the fuck that is. You know what I'm saying? Because immediately they're going to cut off all these type of things, okay? They're going to cut that shit the fuck off. You understand what I'm saying? And also what they're doing is this. Listen, and I must address this first too. Listen. Stop being afraid and putting white people on this God pedestal, okay? Y'all speak, I hear y'all talk about like, you know, niggas just gonna die, you know what I mean? They going, you know, we can't win no war with white people and shit. You know what I'm saying? Listen, them motherfuckers are not gods. They're not immortal. Them motherfuckers bleed just like you do. And stop speaking like we gonna be the only motherfuckers doing the dying. Okay, they afraid too. Listen, white people are fucking afraid whenever niggas come around and we ain't even engaging them or armed. You know what I mean? We're not even in a war type or beef situation, and they're afraid of niggas. Okay, you only got a small amount of motherfuckers, all right, who are simplified gung ho fighting motherfuckers. But out of there, you know, although they outnumber us, and I don't even know about that shit. You know, that could have just been propaganda for the last goddamn 100 years. You know what I mean? Because one thing I do know is on slave plantations, for every goddamn 10 blacks you had, it had to be one white. You know what I mean? I knew that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I do know this. White people are having a very hard time in reproducing. That's why they need in vitro fertilization. They have to make their fertilized eggs in a goddamn petri dish and then insert it inside the uterus. Or they have to get you know what I mean, a surrogate to carry the goddamn impregnated egg. You know, the man will have to impregnate another woman besides his wife because the wife just cannot conceive. You know, and shit like that. They have a lot of problems with conception. I do know that shit, and we don't. Okay? I do know that one of the reasons why they're bringing in the Hispanic and they're grooming the Hispanic to adopt their behavior and attitude towards blacks. So Hispanics, okay, they're going to side with the crackers. They're not going to side with you, okay? You may have a chance at recruiting some of them, but I wouldn't recommend the shit, okay? Because again, you have to, when you're dealing with a guerrilla unit, which will always be a small unit, 20 individuals, 30, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And you will have to stay off the grid. The best way to be off the grid is to literally go underground, okay? So, you know what I mean? Do things in your spare time, right? Find forests and wood type areas. All right, go in them on weekends and shit. Walk around and become familiar with the motherfuckers. In so much as you can maneuver the shit under just moonlight alone. Or if the forest is dense, you can maneuver that shit in darkness. Because most of your activity and mobility will be done under the, you know, in darkness. Okay, in the daytime you will be underground resting. All right, and at night is when you will be doing a lot of, maneuverability and shit like that. You will have to have individuals who know how to fly planes, you know what I'm saying, who know how to navigate boats and move boats, okay? Because again, I told you, you can commandeer these things, all right? You got small airports where there are planes and shit like that. You got docks and shit where there's plenty of boats out there, you know what I mean? Know how to start a boat without a key. Know how to start a plane without a key. These are the type of things you should be studying and learning right now. Okay, right now, you're going to need individuals who know how to hack, ID cards, copy an ID card, get close to an individual that have their work card on them and be able to scan, you know what I mean, their goddamn magnetic strip from, within 6 inches of them, if by just, walking past them and scanning their goddamn ID card. And being able to then make a duplicate card so you can then enter a certain business or whatever, because that business may have information and resources inside of it. You know what I mean? You should have hinge bolt cutters like they used to cut your locks off in high school with. Okay, some that'll tear. The bigger ones are the ones that will give you a best leverage and make it bite through the goddamn steel real easy. Because most goddamn stores and businesses have a steel grill gate rolled down, but it's only locked in place by padlocks, okay? So you can easily clip them motherfuckers and raise the goddamn cage and enter these stores, okay? You have to dot all your I's and cross all your T's, you know what I'm saying? And study the white sites. The white people are giving up the information, man. Study the white sites, study the military, urban operations and things like that, just to get an idea of what the fuck they're going to be going after, how they plan on moving once they corridor off urban areas and begin to, do their thing within urban areas, okay? You will not be able to stay in your homes. I repeat, you will not be able to stay in your homes, and you must get your family underground, literally underground. You know what I mean? I'm talking like underground, like subway dwellers and shit like that. People live underground in subways, but no, they're going to do raids in those places too, because they know people live under those subways or whatever. But you're going to have to be able to know how to get from place to place under the goddamn manholes. You can lift up a manhole and you can fucking move, 2-3 miles from one side of town to the next by just going underground. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're dealing with an old city like Baltimore, there's usually cities underneath the city. You dig what I'm saying? Cities underneath the cities where trains were running and shit like that at some point. You know what I mean? You can also get hold of old maps. You know what I mean? Underground maps. You know what I'm saying? That were dated in the 1800s, mostly through the 1800s, all right, when they were starting to build things like the automobile and the trains and things like that were running underground as well, okay? Get maps of that shit. A lot of times you can just Google the shit and get a copy of the goddamn map. Or you can go down to the city, you know what I mean, and get a map of the goddamn underground manhole, shit like that. You can get the shit. You know what I mean? You can get shit. Bribe the motherfucker that's at the goddamn, the clerk at the desk at the municipal building of the city, and tell the motherfucker I need a copy of the goddamn map, of the underground manhole shit. You know what I'm saying? Yo, listen, you can get all these things. You know what I mean? But again, don't fucking sit there and try to put on a front like you down for the fight, this, that, and that. And I get 100 of y'all. I'm down, Bro.Elihu. I'm down. Make no mistake. I'm down to throw down this, that, and other. But I'm saying though, you gotta do this. You got to. You know what I mean? Motherfucker, first of all, don't talk to me like the fuck I'm a novice or that I take this shit with a minimum of concern. You know what I mean? I've been involved in this shit over 30 years, and I had some of the best teachers you can possibly have. You know what I mean? You could possibly have, yo. You know what I'm saying? And I'm obsessive, compulsive with goddamn detail, especially when it comes to goddamn urban guerrilla warfare, and our goddamn survival, okay? Because I know what's coming down the goddamn pipe for black people. I know what the fuck's coming down the pipe for us. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to awaken as many individuals as possible. You know what I'm saying? And so get familiar with the woods. You got to know where. Okay, first, when it's a cold red. Okay, everybody get your goddamn split bags. You should have bags already made up. You know what I mean? when it's time to split, where you have to fucking leave your fucking location within fucking 5 to 10 minutes. All right, you know what I'm saying? You should have scanners. You can download scanner apps on your goddamn phones. You know what I mean? But phones ain't going to do you much good because you're not going to be able to charge the goddamn phones. You know what I'm saying? But you could buy goddamn hellhole walkie-talkie type scanners. You know what I mean? It's good to have walkie-talkies, period. So if you was to put your family in a safe location, you know what I mean? You out in the woods and you got them put in a safe location or whatever, and you need to go out and hunt. Like here in Baltimore City, there's certain parks and shit like that, man, where there's deers running around that motherfucker like crazy. You know what I mean? You need to go where the goddamn deers are, where the goddamn rabbits are, where the goddamn squirrels and shit are. First, you want to go there. You know what I mean? You want to go there because you will have to live off the motherfucking land. And a one deer kill can feed you for a goddamn long time. Know how to smoke the fucking meat. You're going to have to be able to smoke the goddamn meat. You know what I'm saying? In order to keep the meat, you know, and you can, that way you'll have jerky for a long time. And jerky is very lightweight. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to need lightweight shit like ramen noodles. Ramen noodles will fucking swell up in just cold water if you just let it sit. You don't need hot water all the time. Okay, you're going to need at least one can good because you're going to need that can to cook in. You know what I mean? Once you eat what's in it, you're going to need that can to also cook in, to heat water in and shit like that. You ain't going to be able to take no damn pot or pan with you in no goddamn backpack or survival pack. You understand what I'm saying? That shit is going to be for things like munitions, first aid, you know what I'm saying? Medication that you might be on or need. You should start stockpiling all these things. All right, especially medication. If you're a diabetic and you take insulin and other, you should have at least goddamn 5 or 6 goddamn jars of insulin just to start. You know what I mean? Just to start. And then the rest you can acquire as you go. And this is what reconnaissance and raids are for. All right, you can plan these type of strikes. You know what I'm saying? Bicycles are good, okay, because they don't require batteries, they don't require gasoline. You know what I'm saying? And you know they're quiet. You know what I'm saying? All these type of things. But study the white sites there's 100,000 goddamn videos out there on how to survive and how to survive in the woods. They got TV shows on survival in the wild, surviving in the wild. So you can be able to identify what plants can be used as food, berries, things like that. You know what I'm saying? All these things would be a source of food. And know that the human body can live, a human body can go 30 days without food, which is the world record held by Mahatma Gandhi through his hunger strike, but it can only go a week without water. So if given the goddamn choice, always take the water over the food. You understand what I'm saying? Always take the water over the food. And try to stay off of fucking white people's property because they will be policing their grounds and they may have goddamn sabotage, booby traps and shit of that nature. All right. So you have to stay off of white people's grounds and private properties. You must be able to know the parts. You must have a map, okay, of your immediate surrounding area of at least